The buzzword kills conversion.
How to create a signature line, your verbal logo.
Brand isn't just visual, it's verbal.
What separates a high converting brand from a forgettable one?
If you want to win trust, you have to be distinct but meaningful. People buy brand, right, before they buy property. Inconsistent voice means confused buyer, and that means lost trust.
Should a brand speak to different buyers in their language?
So, same product, different pitch. And the right one, that's what converts. 90% of real estate brands are stuck in what we call safe and forgettable. If you want a brand that doesn't just look good but actually sells, you can't afford to blend in anymore.
If your real estate brand isn't standing out, it's not just a design problem, it's a trust problem. And that trust, it starts with how you look, how you sound, and how your brand make people feel. Today we are breaking down exactly how to fix visually, verbally, and strategically with real-world example from the UK and UAE. Welcome back to the show. If your brand is blending into a sea of established in 1995 real estate, this episode is for you. Because today's guest has helped dozens of real estate brands move from forgettable to high converting, from Dubai developers to London realtors and even boutique agencies in London. He is the founder of Credofy, a brand first website firm trusted by real estate agents, professionals across the UK and UAE. Rahul Parashar.
Thanks, Asmita. Super excited because this one topic most realtors get wrong. And when they get it right, deals close faster, brands trust shoot up, and ad spends drop like crazy.
Alright, let's go straight to the root. What's the biggest problem you see with the most real estate brand?
So honestly, they all look like clones, right? Some navy blue logos, some use serif fonts, and from stock photos where you are shaking hand in front of skyline. So that is what most of those real estate sites have on their banner image, right? And same recycled taglines, right? Serving the community since 1995, and what does that get them, right? Zero attention, zero recall, and absolutely no trust.
So, in a market full of choices, safe actually makes you invisible.
Exactly. Look, in real estate, people buy brand, right, before they buy property, right? And there is a data behind this. A recent UK study found that brands perceived as distinctive and trustworthy had 32% higher buyer trust than traditional ones.
And what about in the UAE?
So look, MR is the perfect example, right? They don't just sell home, right? What they're doing, but they're selling legacy, right? Everything from their logo to their launch, and their even brochure says this is exclusive and this will last, right? So people buy into that particular feature.
Let's talk visuals. What separates a high converting brand from a forgettable one?
Look, it starts with first impression because they close deals, right? 90% of real estate brands are stuck in what we call safe and forgettable, right? And if you want to win trust, you have to be distinct, right, but meaningful. And let me break it down, right, with three parts. Like one is color, then your logo, and then you need to have high consistency rate, right? So forget corporate naming, right, and go bold but intentional.
Okay, but how do you choose the right bold?
Great question, right? You pick color based on who you are speaking to. So I'll give you three examples, right? Let's take the example of, let's say, off-plan investor, right? So for off-plan investors, you need to use tones like terracotta or sand or sage. Like, just take an example of a developer in Abu Dhabi, right? The developer is Eldar, right? If you see, they reflect sustainability and stability with their color scheme. And then comes your high net worth individuals, right? To target them, if you're targeting them, right, you need to go with black and gold, which is a global luxury standard, and it signals prestige, legacy, and exclusivity. And then if you are targeting first-time buyers, you need to have some energetic colors in your branding, right? It needs to be coral, electric blue, or mustard. You see vibrant violet, right, and also purple. You see what they have magenta in their branding, right, which speaks directly to the modern TikTok native generation.
So color isn't just style, It's psychology.
Exactly, right? So every shade tells a story, right? And when it aligns with the buyer mindset, trust built instantly.
And what about the logo? So many just toss initial in a box.
So that's the trap, right? I mean, your logo should reflect your values, right? Trust, growth, aspiration, not just initials, right? So here's the simple framework, right? I'll tell you about certain audience type and what the logo should convey to them and some design ideas. So let's start with growth investors, right? You need to show them progress and momentum, right? And you can portray that using arrows in your logo, upward motions, and sleek shapes, right? Then comes safety first buyers, right? And you need to portray security and stability. So how you can do that? You have to have serif fonts or some sort of shield icons in your logo. Then come your prestige buyers, right? And what they want wealth, they want timeliness, right? And you need to have sort of monograms, minimalistic gold, right? And then comes your lifestyle buyers, right? And for them, you need to portray them modern living, right? And how you can portray that using curved lines or soft gradients. So the best logos aren't just pretty, right? They are positioning tools. This is where most brands fail, right? They redesign their logo but forget to update their social posts, brochures, or even email footers, right? We have helped one UK client rebrand everything, right? We used high contrast CTAs, editorial style images, and clean grid layout, right? We used modern and tight typography for them.
And what changed?
Yeah, so engagement on listing doubled, right? I mean, brand recall tripled.
That's wild, just from the visuals.
Not just visuals, strategic design, right? Design that understands your buyer, reflects your value, and repeats across every platform. But here is the twist, right? Even the best looking brands, you see, like they will struggle, right? And if your words sound like everyone else.
You mean the whole luxury home in the heart of city kind of fluff?
Yes, exactly.
So we have fixed how your brand looks, but what about how it talks?
This part is huge, right? I mean, and most overlooked, right? Because your brand isn't just visual, it's verbal. And sadly, most estate brands still sound like this. Look, I mean, they will say luxury living in the heart of city, right? And they will say something like what I've seen in most of the website is a great investment opportunity. So it's meaningless, right? And it fades out. Your word should cut through and build trust fast. And so we need to fix that first.
What about pick one voice and stick to it? Where do you start when it comes to tone?
Start by choosing one clear brand voice, right? And owning it across everything. So here are three powerful options, right? If you want to sound as an expert, so this is how you will say. Here is what most agent won't tell you. I'll give you another example, right? Based on the data, here is where reels are rising and why. So that's how you will sound like an expert. And if you want to be a guide, if you want to sound like a guide, so you will say like, let's walk through this together, right? I'll give you another example. So here is how I explained this to my sister buying her first home. So that's how you become a guide, right? And now if you want to be a disruptor, you will say something like this. Forget everything you have been told. So there is another example, right? Most listings are lying to you, right? Here is how to see through the noise, right? So this is how you will speak if you want to be the disruptor. Pick one and let that voice show up in your listings, right? Your emails, your social captions, and even your sales team talk on phone using that particular tone.
So not jumping from vice professor to cheeky TikToker every few posts.
Exactly, right? I mean, so inconsistent voice means confused buyer, and that means lost trust.
What about messaging by audience? Should a brand speak to different buyers in their language? You mentioned earlier that buyers hear differently. Can you unpack that?
Absolutely. Like, I mean, one of the biggest copy mistake agents make, they say same thing to everyone, right? But a property investor, a first-time buyer, and a luxury client looking for completely different signals, right? So here's how one property will sound to three different audience. So I'll give you some buyer types and some sort of sample messaging. So if you want to speak to investors, you will say 180K property, 8.2% yield, and let in 3 days, fully managed and zero hassle. But if you're speaking to first-time buyers, you will say something like move-in ready, quiet streets, 3-minute walk to the local schools and shops, right? And if you're speaking to luxury buyers, you will say something like only 12 residences, right? Fully concierge. Neighbors include tech founders. So same product, different pitch. And the right one, That's what converts.
Let's talk about the fluff, the jargon we see everywhere. How to cut the fluff and show the proof.
Yes, the buzzword kills conversion, right? Buyers don't trust phrase like great location or amazing potential. They trust evidence, right? So here is how to flip the script. I'll give you certain examples of fluff and proof-driven alternatives. So fluff is great transport links, and then how you should portray it as something like 2 stops to central London. Then I see most of the sites, they say like strong rental demand. So what does it mean, right? You need to say something like 98% occupancy rate last 12 months. Give them data, right? And I see most of agents, they say it like luxury interior. So you just transform it to saying something like this: Bosch appliance, quads, counterpart. So when you replace adjective with data, you don't just look polished, you look credible.
Let's wrap this part with slogans. How to create a signature line, your verbal logo. Because some brands have one line that stick in your head.
So exactly, that's what I call your verbal logo, right? Your brand one-liner. So make it short, memorable, something 5 word or less, and clear on value. So let's take some real estate examples. You see Knight Frank, right? What do they say? They say your partner in property. Let's check Foxton, right? Get it done with London's #1. So we helped a UK client change their slogan, right? From helping you find high investment to invest smart, live bold. Result: 41% more app clicks, 67% longer time on the page, 30% more direct inquiries.
That's powerful. When your words match your audience language, everything converts better.
Exactly. So look, copy isn't creative fluff. It's a conversion science.
Alright, so we have discussed about visuals and voice. But let's say someone's done all that and lead's still not converting. What's missing?
That's where most agents drop the ball. Because the third and the most important layer is strategy.
Alright, visuals, check. Messaging, nailed. Now let's talk strategy, because what does strategic branding actually mean? How it all works together?
So here's the truth, most people miss your brand isn't just how you look or sound, it's how your entire system performs, right? Because in real estate, branding isn't just about impression, it's about conversion. So if your lead aren't converting, ask yourself, number one, does your website clearly guides different buyer types? Or is everyone dumped onto the same generic page? Number two, do your CTAs speak to real outcomes or just say learn more? So example, book my free yield forecast hits harder than download brochure. Number three, are testimonials just fillers or positioned as trust triggers, right? Right before the decision point. Look, timing matters for the social proof, right? And number four, can a complete stranger understand your value proposition under 5 seconds? If not, you have lost them before they even scroll.
So branding is more like engine, not just a paint job.
Exactly, a good looking car without working engine, it's not going anywhere.
For someone listening right now thinking, this is me, where should they begin?
So start here, 3 moves, right? Number one, look, you need to audit your visual branding. Look at your current branding through your buyer's lens. Does it actually reflect your value? Or does it blend into same old agency crowd? Number two, simplify your tagline. Even a 12-year-old can understand and remember it. It should not be vague, right? It should be punchy, memorable, and ownable. So examples that I gave you, like invest smart and live bold. Number three is fix your funnel journey, right? On your website, in your ads, and in your email flow. Can people instantly tell who is this for, what they are getting, and what do they need to do next, right? If not, even the best looking brand will stall.
And for anyone who wants help, we have packed all this into our real estate brand builder kit. Here's what's inside. Plug and play design templates, swipe files for verbal messaging, brand positioning formula that converts, real examples tailored by buyer persona. Click the link in the description or drop a comment, brand fix. Rahul, that was awesome. Every real estate founder, every agent needs to hear this.
Thanks, Asmita. So if you want a brand that doesn't just look good but actually sells, you can't afford to blend in anymore.
Don't play safe. Don't look like everyone else. Stand out, build trust, and convert more. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.